Hi folks, my name is Andy and I run the BlackJackLegacy YouTube channel, and it's dedicated to the tabletop hobby. So it doesn't matter what game you play, whether it's a miniatures game, whether it's a board game, a card game, whether you're into painting or whether you're into terrain building, there's a little bit of everything on my channel for you to see. So if you're not already subscribed, why not head over and subscribe? I'm 42 years old, I'm married with 3 children, all boys, and whilst they don't always like to play games, sometimes I do manage to get them to try out some of the different games with me. I live in the northeast of England in a place called Newcastle, and I do have a local gaming group which I don't always get to very often, but I am fortunate that there is a local group that I can sometimes get out there and play some games with. So I started the hobby very kind of tentatively when I was a bit younger, probably about 8 years old, which is obviously some time ago now, and a friend of mine, basically his older brother, was into Blood Bowl, and we used to go into town and buy the odd single Citadel miniature. We'd try and paint them up, not very successfully I would say, especially with limited hobby funds, being a kind of an 8-9 year old boy, and that was kind of my first introduction to miniatures and gaming. From there I got into the fighting fantasy books, and then a little bit later after that I got into Hero Quest, and that was when I really started to get involved in it a little bit. I had a bit of a gap from probably being about 12, 13 years old all the way through, quite a big gap I would say, all the way through to being probably about 29 or 30. My 2 oldest boys are twins, and when they were first born I obviously spent a lot more time at home. I wasn't going out with friends, and I used to play a lot of sports back then, and I was looking for something to do as a hobby at home while I was at home with the boys. And walking past Games Workshop in my local town, I saw all the models in the window, and it kind of took me back to my childhood, and I thought I'd pick up a few models just to start painting really, and just to start building, and that was where my hobby started. So I'm kind of relatively late into the hobby, into this kind of world of hobbying really, only starting much more recently into my later years. I then had a bit of a gap, again probably around 38, something like that, and got back into it about a year later when I picked up The Walking Dead, which was the Kickstarter from Mantic, and from there I've really got back into it, expanding my world of games, and certainly getting much more involved in the last few years. So I guess maybe differently to a lot of YouTubers, I'm not really known for one particular game. I'm probably more well known for the fact that I play lots of different games. So I do play Age of Sigmar, although I haven't played in a little while, but I do have a Beastclaw Raiders army for Age of Sigmar, and I've recently been making a start on a Stormcast Eternals army. I'm probably best known, I guess, for Walking Dead, which is really where my YouTube channel started, with The Walking Dead from Mantic. But I would guess I'm probably more well known for a range of different games really, rather than just one. I certainly don't sort of focus on Warhammer 40,000 for example. I guess I'm quite passionate about what I do really, is that I get a lot of enjoyment. I do enjoy making videos, I love filmmaking, I love the editing, and I love creating something. It took me a long time to kind of get over that nervousness about being on camera. But what I really love about this hobby, and what I love about making YouTube videos, is the community around it. I love the feedback. I love to read the comments on my videos. I love to hear what other people think. I have a different opinion. I have a Facebook group as well, where a lot of people who watch the videos come over and share their pictures and share what they're working on. I love the fact it's a really diverse community of lots of different people from all over the world who all share the games that they're really passionate about, and it's a nice little community there that really keeps me interested. So it's the passion of the community that rubs off on me, and hopefully I can try and show some of that in my videos. So what made me decide to get into YouTube is kind of a strange one really. I never really kind of set out to have a hobby channel. I'd always wanted to try and make some YouTube videos just because I found it interesting, and I wanted to know kind of what went into it, understand the sort of technology behind it. And I decided the first one I would make would be when I got The Walking Dead from Mantic from the Kickstarter. I decided to do an unboxing of that, purely just to try and see how it all worked. I was really fortunate that that first video was probably one of the first unboxings on YouTube, and Mantic Games shared it with their kind of with all of the other Kickstarters, and it seemed to get quite a few views. not kind of like it wasn't in one of these viral hits, but it got sort of 300-400 views or something like that very early on. Now I know most people who start on YouTube don't get that sort of leg up a little bit, and that kind of caught me off guard really. I was expecting to put this video and maybe one person would watch it at most, and from that kind of ignited me to want to go and do something else. So that was where it started really. So I almost fell into making hobby videos or miniature gaming videos by accident really, but I've been doing it for about 18 months now. I've just clicked over 2,500 subscribers. I'm about to hit 200,000 views this weekend. So I'm overwhelmed by how it's gone, but I love making videos. I'll continue to make them, and it's also given me access to a community of gamers that I probably didn't get the chance to game with. So what does the future hold? I would absolutely love to be able to make this into a full-time sort of venture really. I know it's a pipe dream for a lot of people, and I know that it's very hard to make it work financially. I do have a full-time job, and in order to kind of swing from a full-time job into full-time on YouTube will take a lot of work and a lot of funding, but it's something that I'm kind of focusing on, and it might not happen this year, it might not happen next year, but I think if that's my goal, I'd quite like to kind of head in that direction. So the future of the channel really is about a diverse amount of games. It's about covering pretty much anything that's happening in tabletop, in the tabletop hobby and tabletop community, and that also means it doesn't just mean games that I actively play. With the help of my Patreons, they're enabling me to buy games that maybe I wouldn't necessarily play myself. They're enabling me to visit companies like Mantic. Recently I was invited to go and be part of the Hellboy Kickstarter and also go down and film a demo game of it, and I couldn't have done that kind of thing without the help of my Patreons. So I'm very sort of fortunate and very thankful I have people to support me, but it's just the start and it's the first step in a long road. So that's where I'd like to end up in the future. Anything else to add? I would just like to say a thank you to Michael for inviting me to do this. I'd like to say a thank you to everyone that subscribes and watches my videos, everyone that comments on my videos, and I'd like to say a special thanks to everyone in my Facebook group as well, who make it, in my opinion, the best Facebook group there is around the hobby. It's such a diverse community, so if anybody would like to come across and join it, just look for the BlackJackLegacy Facebook group on Facebook, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Thank you very much.